Now next topic is about the NALSA.
Finding the right job can be really tricky. But on LinkedIn, I found these great filters to sort through roles and remote working options. So if you're planning on your next move, find exactly the job you want on LinkedIn.
Next topic is about the NALSA. About the NALSA. So NALSA is issues the Vision 2020 document, and that was Mission Assess Justice for All. That is for the Justice for All. NALSA is for Justice for All. It is a Legal Service Authority Act. Legal Service and Authority Act that was in 1987, and that is free legal service to the weaker section, and that is working for the weaker sections, and to organize a Lok Adalat for the amicable disputes of the Lok Adalat for the amicable disputes of the amicable dispute settlement. So NALSA shall consist the Chief Justice of India. In the NALSA, there is the Chief Justice of India plus a patron of chief. As a patron in the chief. Okay, Chief Justice of India as a patron of chief, and retired judge of the Supreme Court. Okay, and retired judge of the Supreme Court. Okay. Now, Act also process the every state legal authority. So under the state there is a state legal authority. Under the state there is a state legal authority. State legal authorities. Under the state legal authority there is also there, and in this High Court plus the High Court Legal Service Committee will be constituted. DALSA is also there, that is District Legal Service Authority. So District Legal Service and Authority. Okay, so these are three bodies are made up. It will conduct the Lok Adalat in the state and district also. It will provide the free legal service to the people and conduct the Lok Adalat. So what is the work? First is the free legal aid to the people, and second one is the conduct the Lok Adalat. Okay, these two work are there. Legal service for women, SC ST, violence, flood, drought, disaster, whatever is there. Person whose annual income does not exceed 1 lakh rupees, does not exceed the 1 lakh rupees are committee, and that was limits the 5 lakh rupees. Supreme Court limit about the legal matters, that is 5 lakh rupees. Okay. Victim of the trafficking, human trafficking, beggar, they will also come in that. Now next initiative is the Tele Law initiative. What it is? So delivering of the legal advice through the lawyer. Legal advice and through the lawyers, and that is about the Tele Law. Tele Law is known as the SALSA, State Legal Service Authority, and the Common Service Center. So it will provided by the SALSA and Common Service Center. Okay, that is Tele Law, and it was launched in the 2017, and that was expanded the 115 aspirational district program. 115 that was the aspirational district and program, that was 115. Okay, now next is legal aid as a human right. Next one is legal aid, that is aid as a legal aid as a human right. So that is under Article 21 and under Article 39A. Okay, these two articles are there. Indian Constitution has a right to free legal aid. That is a right to free legal aid. Right to free legal aid, and that was a fundamental right. That was a fundamental right. And under Article 39A, that was a constitution, was the 42nd amendment of the constitution, deal with the 39 and 43A and 48 and A. Okay, these rights are there. Provide for the free legal aid to the poor. Legal aid to the poor and weaker section and weaker sections, poors and the weaker section. Okay, and that's come under the Article 39, Article 43A and Article 48A. Okay, so this legal aid as a human right advises under the Universal Declaration of the Human Right. New rules for the tribunal. Now next one is a new rules for a tribunal. For a tribunal. So Union Ministry of Finance, that is the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of the Finance, that is known the appointment and the conditions for the various tribunal. So tribunal is a quasi judicial body. It is a quasi judicial body. First of all, it is a quasi judicial body. And second one, that is comes under Article 323A and 323B. These two articles are there. These are inserted through the 42 amendment of the 1976. Okay, and that was a Swarna Singh committee. Swarna Singh committee. Okay, so 321A deal with the administrative tribunal. So there is a 323A, that is deal with the administrative tribunal, and 323B, that is deal with the other matter. Okay, so 321A, that is deal with the administrative tribunal, and that was for the other matter. They play important role for the dispute, especially for the technical expertise. So they provide the technical expertise. They provide the technical expertise and do not have to follow the uniform procedure, that was a civil procedure code. So they do not follow the CVC and have a follow the principle of natural justice, Evidence Act, but they have to follow the principle of natural justice. So they follow the principle of natural justice. What they follow? They follow the principle of natural justice, but they do not follow the CVC and the Indian Evidence Act. This all they do not follow. Okay, so they do not have to follow the civil procedure code or Indian Evidence. They enjoy some of the power of the civil court, issuing the summoning and the allowing witness evidences. Its decisions are legally binding on the party, and decisions are legally binding. These decisions are legally binding. Okay, so tribunal, their decisions are legally binding on the parties, subject to appeal, and they are subject to appeal. Okay, now next one is tribunal, appellate tribunal and other authority that are under the rules of 2020 it comes. Now there is a Finance Act also there, section 184, that is exercise the power of the tribunal, and Central Administrative Tribunal, Income Tax Tribunal, Central Administrative Tribunal, that is state Income Tax Tribunal. Now next one is the Chief Justice of India or the judges as a CJI, President of the tribunal concerned. Like if I am talking about the appointments of the CAT, so Chief Justice of India or judges nominated by the CJI. So this will be the search cum select committee will be there, and in this search committee there will be one member will be CJI, second member will be the president or chairman of the tribunal, so president of the tribunal, and third member will be two government secretary. and Government Secretariat 2. Okay, so these are the members. Removal will be from the search cum selection committee and will conduct the inquiry before removal, allegation for the misconduct, and qualification. What is the qualification of the tribunal? So qualifications are: one is the only person having a judicial and legal experience. So we need a judicial and legal experience, and the legal experience that is in the tribunal. Okay, now next one is rules also provide a fixed term, that is 4 year. So term is what? That term is 4 year. And independence, the condition of the rules, that is that member will be eligible for reappointment. They will be eligible for the reappointment. We can do also reappointment of that person under 2020 rules. Okay, now the next topic is related to the zero pendency of the court. Zero pendency court project. What is this actually? So this project is a Delhi High Court. That was reports the zero pendency court project started. That is objective of the project: flow of the cases from the date of institution till the final disposal. So real time flow of the cases. And national judicial data grid plus there is the pending cases is about 2.3 crore cases are there. So Uttar Pradesh is the highest pendency of the cases. That was Uttar Pradesh, where is the highest pendency. So related information is the legal information management briefing system. We can say LIMB is also there. So this LIMB is related to the web-based portal. It is a web-based portal. It is a web-based portal, LIMS. So what is LIMS? LIMS is about the legal information management briefing system. And this system comes under the Ministry of Law and Justice. This is come under the Ministry of Law and Justice. Okay, and this is about various court cases of the government. It will handle the court cases of the government. So LIMB is the authority which will relate to the court cases. Now next is a curative petition. Curative petition. So curative petition were filed in the Nirbhaya case. That was filed in the Nirbhaya case. Okay, this case concept of the curative petition first evolved in the Rupa Ashok case and Ashok Hurra Rupa Ashok and Ashok Hurra case. That was in 2002. Okay, now after the dismissal of the review petition by the Supreme Court, it is based on the interpretation of the article of 137. So it is based on the interpretation of the article 137, and Supreme Court has the power to review any judgment, and in that Supreme Court can review Court can review any judgment. That was under article 145. Under article 137 provide that matter law as a rules interpretation is under the article 137, and power to review the judgment, that was under article 140 and 5. So what is the curative petition? May be filed after a review ply against the final conviction. It can be if the petitioner established that there was a violation of the principle of natural justice. If there is a violation of principle of natural justice, violation of the principle of natural justice. Okay, in that case it can be filed, and there will be three senior most judges and judges who pass the concerned judgment. So there was a curative petition is usually decided by the judge in the chamber. It will decided by the judge in the chamber. It will decide by the judge in the chamber. And now it is the event of the bench holding any stage that petition is without any merit. It may impose a penalty on the petitioner, and it may also hold the penalty on the petitioner. So one is it was the Rupa Ashok case. Second, under Article 137, that was interpretation of the Constitution. Article 145, that was Supreme Court has power to review the judgment. So under Article 145, review of the judgment, and curative petition may be filed after a review by violation of the principal justice and bench of the 3 senior-most judges and judges who pass the concerned judgment. Okay, so this is about this curative petition. Now next question is related to the Witness Protection Act. Witness protection. What is the witness protection? Witness protection comes under Article 144 and 142, and this article is provided the legal sanctity. It is provided the legal sanctity to the case. Okay, so that is scheme has extended it to witness in all cases, that is National Investigation Agency, and in that Jahira Sheikh case and Gujarat case, Jahira Sheikh case and the Gujarat case, there was a free and fair trial. Okay, free and fair trial is also provided. So Article 144, law declared by the Supreme Court shall be binding on all courts, and it will be binding. That was in Article 141 and 142. Under this, Supreme Court can grant appropriate relief for complete justice, and there is a relief for the complete justice that was under Article 142. So 141, binding on all courts within the territory of India, and 142, there must be some relief doing complete justice. Okay, so under the Secretary of District Legal Service Authority can pass a witness protection order, and the procedure to be followed for the witness protection, use of technology, and witness protection fund is also there. So that comes under Article 141, that was Supreme Court shall be binding on all courts within the territory of India. So law of the Supreme Court will be binding on all of the courts. And Article 142, that is under the Supreme Court can grant appropriate relief, and in this Supreme Court can grant the relief. In 141, there was a Supreme Court, there is some binding principle. 142, that is a relief from the Supreme Court. So this is about the witness protection.